am Jackie Pellegrin.
This is Tech 101, your essential guide to understanding technology shaping our world, translating complex innovation into practical knowledge you can use with confidence. Well, people, this is our first episode, and thank you, Miss Jackie, for saying yes with our new venture, Tech 101. Now, all in all, people, we have a four podcasts with Miss Jackie. We have Bible versus 101. We have Coaching 101. We have Tech 101. And of course, the recently we did AI 101. So, Miss Jackie, would you please introduce more about yourself?
Sure. So I've been working in higher education almost 20 years and as an instructional designer about 15 years. So wow, it's a long time. And
Long
I just,
time.
yeah, I love technology. I've always been using it since I was a kid. So it's exciting to see how it's changed even in my almost 50 years of being around. So yeah, so I'm glad we're kind of starting here with this episode and kind of starting, where it all started, right? And then we'll just move through,
Yes.
yeah, of that. So
Yes. Actually, Miss Jackie is the brain of Tech 101. We're just talking about AI 101, and then suddenly, how about Tech 101? Why we not
hmm
consider it? He said, of course, yes.
I love it.
People, I'm Daniel Lucas, and I'm podcast host of All 101. I have Music 101, Food 101, what? Book 101, name it, and we have all in one roof. 101. So, Miss Jackie, what will be our first episode on Tech 101? But before that, let's give a big applause for each of us again. Thank you for a great, prosperous, bountiful partnership. Ah,
Yes.
that's be
Yeah.
awesome. So, Tech through the ages, five
Yes.
to fiver. What is
hmm
all about, Miss Jackie?
Yes. What's interesting is that we're living in the most tech saturated era ever. And most of us don't know how we got here, right? We're like,
Mhm.
how did it all happen?" So, one kind of little hook question I wanted to throw out there, and it's something that I think about sometimes too. What would break your day first? No internet, no electricity, or no phone? I don't know that because if you
No
don't have
electricity.
yeah, if
Oh
you don't have
my
electricity, you can't
god.
have the internet, right? So they
Yes.
depend on each other. Yeah,
Mhm.
so it's very interesting. Yep.
Oh my goodness. If you given a chance to choose, is it uh smartphone, internet, or TV? Which one do you
Ooh,
prefer?
I would. Oh, that would be a tough one, but I would say internet. I would say internet because with the internet, I feel connected. I can do without TV. I can probably
Mm-hmm.
do without my phone if I need to, but the internet, yeah, I need it to work. I need it to do all kinds of things. So, yeah, I think
I
that would be
myself, I'm
important.
gonna choose internet. So we have the same knowledge, Miss Jackie. That's why you're my partner on Tech 101. And
Yes.
I think Tech through the ages, people, is fire to fiber, is away from tracing human history not by kings or wars, but they are the tools that reshape how we live, think, and organize society. Each major technological leap did more than solve problems, it redefined what means to be a human in its time. Oh, I like this. To be a human. Mm, right?
Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
Comparing when what do you call that, the chimpanzee zone, they're using what, producing fire, they're using these not matchsticks, they're using stones to rub each other to just voila, it's a fire.
Right.
now
Exactly. Yeah.
now now in this area, in this century, we just do fire is coming. Right.
Exactly. Right.
Instant. Mm.
Right. Yeah, because we look at those early tools like how to build a fire, the wheel, right?
Yeah.
And agriculture. Those were all survival types of tools. And now we look at the digital infrastructure, right? What we talked about earlier a little bit. But we look at fiber, satellites, the cloud system, and those are upgrades, you know? And
Mm-hmm.
so that vibe shift, right? So tech moved from tools to systems. That's something I really didn't think about until I started doing a little bit of this and kind of pulling the content together. I was like, that is so true. Moved from
Mm-hmm.
tools to systems. Yeah. So very interesting how we've
Mm-hmm.
made that shift.
Very fast too. Or are
Hmm.
we very fast or very slow? What do you think?
I think it's a little bit of both. I think
Both.
I think we're yeah, I think the technology happens quickly, but I think we're slow to embrace it, to embrace the change.
True.
So yeah, I
True.
think that so I think it's a little bit of both.
Mm-hmm.
Because I remember when I was in high school, I got my first computer, and it was of course the
Prompt DOS.
big computer, yeah, and it had Windows 95 on it. We
When-
thought that was
Oh,
like the greatest thing because it
thing
didn't have a
ever.
DOS. Yeah, we thought that was the greatest thing ever. And then it had the DOS
Prompt.
printer, you know,
Yes.
yeah, where you had to feed it had the little
Floppy
holes.
diskette.
Yeah, and the floppy disk. Yep, I had to bring when I was in college, I had floppy disks that I put them in these little pocket
Uh-huh.
type of things so I wouldn't lose all my floppy disks. And then I brought them to
It
the
will not
yeah,
open.
I know, and they had like the tech pit at the community college, so you had to actually they had like actual pits of and it had computers all over the
Mm-hmm.
place because we
Uh-huh.
didn't have yeah we didn't have laptops then, so it was like okay if you want to use the computer you had to go to the tech pit to you and they had two of them, two buildings of tech pits. And yeah, and if you wanted to use a Mac, the Macs were harder to come by. You actually had to
Yes.
sign up
Uh-huh.
to get a Mac to use it. So it's
Mm-hmm.
like wow, and I know why. But yeah, it's very interesting how it's changed. And yeah,
So,
if we just look back to that.
yes.
Mhm.
And they said Microsoft Office was copied to the late Steve Jobs, which is when Bill Gates produced Windows is so fast, right?
Right.
And become boom. And then after that, Mac iOS is so slow because they want to make it perfect. They want to make it like, oh wow, this is better than Microsoft, right?
Right. Exactly. Right.
so
Yep.
so when we go back to those technology, we love ourselves because what? Comparing now, we no longer use DOS prompt. We no longer floppy disks. They gone. So
Right.
sooner or later, what we're doing right now, it will gone too, right?
Yeah, it'll continue to evolve and change, right,
Mm.
exactly. Yeah, and you talked about, Bill Gates and all those and Steve Jobs and those, those people that were such pioneers, right, when it came to technology. I remember when the internet browser that was most well used and most people used was Netscape. If you
Yes,
remember
Netscape.
Netscape.
Yes,
And
yes, yes.
yeah, and then uh when Bill Gates came along with Microsoft and everything like that, then he came out with Internet Explorer. And he actually put Netscape out of business because
Oh, yes.
Internet Explorer became so popular that all of a sudden I started noticing I'm like, Netscape. People aren't
No
referencing
more.
Netscape anymore because Internet Explorer took over. And then you had Google, and now you've got this
no,
competition
no more.
between
Yes.
Microsoft Edge and Google,
Yes.
and so it's very, very interesting. So yeah,
I, thi-
you
I,
kind of see how
yeah.
that's changed. Yeah.
Definitely. I remember the logo of Netscape. It's like the meteors coming like that when it's reading.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you would open it up and it would have the
Oh,
little
yes,
meters.
right?
Yep.
Netscape,
Yep.
that's the logo. I was sad
Right.
to say when Microsoft make it, you're monopolizing it. Why are you doing that, right? Is it so it
Yep.
Netscape disappear? My goodness, those all those days, people. I think that's 90s.
I
right?
think, yeah, and then we had AOL, You've Got Mail, and dial-up.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness, having to wait for, and
Modem.
then
Mm.
my mom would get, yeah, my mom would be, she'd try to get on the phone and you couldn't talk on the phone when someone was online. And so, and or she'd be
Because
on the
of the
phone and I'd be
modem.
like, "Mom, I got to do my homework. I got to get online to do my homework." Now we take that for granted, right? We can
Yes.
be online
Well,
all the time. She can be watching TV on, because I have Sling TV, which
mm-hmm.
uses internet. So she can be watching TV in the living room, and then I can be here doing this, and then I can
So
have my phone and, look up stuff. So yeah,
see,
it's amazing.
the
Yeah.
evolution of technology is so fast. That's Miss Jackie is talking about. You cannot use the phone when you're using the internet, because once you take it out, it will disconnect or you hang the telephone. Now you can use both.
Yeah.
Now, right? We have a smartphone and Wi-Fi and everything. So what next? What next
Mm.
after this? Wi-Fi, and then what do you think will be the next of our generation?
It's with technology, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because we see AI is becoming a big thing. And so, yeah, I wonder if it's going to be like assistants where we're going to be able to have like the robots, the robotics, right? If they're going to have like robot assistants that are going to, I don't know if I'd want that though in my home, but
Oh yes. Do you like it?
people have Surrey and people
Intelligence.
have, all of that. And
Alexa. Yeah.
yeah, so I think as long as it's in a way that's not taking over our lives, I think it's okay. But I think we're going to start to see that, like the Jetsons, where they had the robot maid,
Mm-hmm.
right, and
Mm-hmm.
she would do all of that. So I think that's probably going to be next. We're going to have robots that can do the laundry and can do the how some of the housework that, yeah, I would love if my robot could do the laundry and do the dishes, then I can do other things, right?
Oh
You
yes.
know, do those mundane tasks that we don't want to that we may not want to do, because I don't enjoy doing the dishes or the
Mm-hmm.
laundry. So if I can have a digital, an assistant that can do that, that I can just say, "Okay, robot, here, do this, do that." Yeah, I think that'll come next. Will we be
Mm-hmm.
ready for it? Maybe, maybe not. Yeah, I think like any technology, Daniel, I think it's gonna, be the people that can afford it first, because I think
Yeah.
that's one thing that technology has done. If you've noticed, it's brought about inequalities, because even today, there's even students in school that are lower income, where the only time they get internet is when they're at school, and so when they go to do their homework at home, they may not have internet. And it's sad because internet's been around for a while, but I think that's the one thing that I think we need to be aware of, is when when technology continues to get better and evolve, is that it seems like it's going to be the haves and the have-nots. And so it's like, do you have the means to be able to get that robot and have it in your home? So yeah, so I think it's going to be. It just takes time for that type of technology, I think, to
Mm-hmm.
make its way to mainstream. But yeah, so it's very
I
interesting to see
I
how
think
that will
Miss
come.
Jackie, I think they are implementing now in Dubai. I think in their malls they have robots now where you can ask where is the direction, or where is this, or where is that, which the robots will direct you. Even in airport, Incheon
Mm.
in Korea, they have this robot. As you ask the robot for direction, and the robot will guide you, which
Wow,
is
that's cool.
fantastic. So sooner
Wow,
or later, robot will be part of our lives.
absolutely.
So do you
Hmm.
think, the question is, people nowadays, correct me if I'm wrong, are lazy, right? So do you think we are more lazier because of the robot? Because okay, you can do this for me, you can do that for me, you can do this, you can do that, right?
Mm,
So
yeah.
our brain is no longer thinking, because we have a robot working for us. Okay, summarize this for me. I'll do this for me. So what do you
Right.
think? What will be the pros and cons, Miss Jackie, of this high tech?
Yeah, that's interesting, because we think about, technology improving our lives. But I think I wonder if life is, yeah, because our life expectancy, if we look back, when technology started making its way, right, in the
Mm,
1800s, with the telephone, electricity, things like that, people weren't living as long then. They were, their life expectancy was usually like mid 40s, maybe, and then
mhm.
they would pass on because they didn't have of the medical advances, right? And they didn't have the technology to be able to for example, if someone had diabetes, they couldn't keep the medication refrigerated. They didn't have a means to do that. Just like with meat, being able to keep it refrigerated, right? So they had to
Yes.
find other ways to do that. But what's interesting is, so we have a greater life expectancy, but I wonder if it's going to start dipping again because, like you said, over reliance on technology, is that going to make people lazier? Are they going to, yeah, get, I don't know. Yeah, that's going to be interesting to see if it's
Mhm.
going to start shifting the other direction and we're going to start seeing people not have as much of a life expectancy. So hopefully that's not the case, but yeah, I think we
Hopefully.
have to be careful. Yeah, I think we have to be careful not to let it do too much, right? And then, yeah, we don't exercise, we don't eat right, and do those things that we need to do. And yeah, if because it's so easy. Like for example, you can have things delivered right by
Mhm,
DoorDash or whatever, and it makes it really easy. And then you don't have to go out to eat or anything. But then, is that really a good thing? So I think
mhm,
there has to be a balance. So that's what I think. Yeah, over reliance I think can be harmful. So I think we need to keep a balanced approach when it comes to that.
mhm.
For sure. Yeah.
Well, Miss Jackie, in the 20th century, we unleashed the electronic intelligence, right? Like telegraph collapse distance, radios and television centralize narratives, and computers transform calculations, memory, and logistics. Technology stop being merely a physical and become informational. When control over the data increasingly meant control over economies, warfare, and public perceptions. So nowadays, like, who's using radios? Yeah? Or
Right.
televisions? It's television, yes, but radios. It's not often, not like the 19th century that radios like, oh wow, it's something else, right? But here
Right.
in our this of our era right now, radios is something nothing, right? It's just like comparing to AI in the 19th century, just like radio, like oh
Right.
wow, right?
Yep.
So
Absolutely.
technology as we goes by, they will rotten too, right? It will rotten if no longer usable for us.
Right. Absolutely. I think radio ended up being like the beginning of podcasting. If
Mm-hmm.
Because it was kind of interesting because remember when radio, before TV came about, people would do skits and plays on radio, and they would have the different sound effects and things like that. And then they would have, people would have conversations on
Yes.
radio and do all of that and broadcast those. And so yeah, I kind of think that, we don't realize that, wow, this became that and it evolved into something else. So it's kind of interesting. But I agree, yeah, it's kind of neat to see where it's, and then also too computers, right?
Mm-hmm.
They started big, right? Where it was like a mainframe was a whole entire
So
room.
big.
Yeah, now we've got it in the palm of our hand and it's like, wow, that's amazing.
Smaller and smaller.
Yeah,
Oh my
exactly. I
goodness.
mean, they've even got like smart glasses now, right? Where you can wear the
Mm-hmm.
glasses and you can, do all kinds of things with it. So now you can have
Yes,
it in glasses.
I think
It's amazing.
Meta's doing that, right? Meta.
Yes, the smart glasses. And then also, there's another company too that does it. I would say it's Ray-Ban. I think Ray-Ban has their own
Mm-hmm.
version too. Yep.
Mm.
And then they also have the watches too, right? They have the smart watches, but they have one that it's a ring. I don't know if you've seen the
Oh
ring or not,
wow. I
but
know,
you
no,
you
not
can wear
yet.
this ring and it'll give you like your all the things like the smartwatch does, but it does more than that. So it's kind of neat. So you can wear it looks like a wedding ring, but it's like a silver ring. So it's yeah, but I guess it does a little bit more than that.
Just like
Yeah.
James Bond ring, right? No, no, like
Yeah,
oh my gosh.
exactly. Yeah, it's
Oh,
amazing what it can
amazing. Our
do.
technology becoming bigger, better, and bolder. And I hope, or we hope, Miss Jackie and I, we will adopt it. Because if we will not adopt it, well, no one will consume it. So even
Right.
if you this the biggest tech ever, and we don't know how to use it, will become nothing. It will become obsolete. So I hope people will invent, what we are watching on Star Trek, that what you vaporize in 1 minute and suddenly you are in the moon.
Yeah.
Oh, why not, right?
Right.
How can we
Yeah.
do that? I'm
That
imagining how to do that.
me too.
Teleportation.
Oh,
Teleportation.
time travel. Yes, time
Time
travel.
travel. Yes,
Yeah.
teleportation. But I'm asking to myself, okay, let's say we invented that one, right? We okay, in 1 minute you vaporize and you are in the moon. So there's something will affect you. Probably there's
Right.
a lot of experiment doing that, and
Right.
lots of lives will be sacrificed. For sure will be, there's a radiation or whatever will happen to your body and will cause cancer, it will cause illnesses and disease. So we are not yet in that period.
I would
Right.
agree. Yeah.
That in the
Exactly. Mhm.
experimentation and vaporizing you in 1 minute and you are in a different zone of the galaxy. That
Yeah.
will be amazing,
Wow.
awesome.
I wonder how yeah, that would be yeah. I
Yeah.
hopefully they don't test on animals first because they've done too much to, oh, let's put a
The
chimpanzee to
goat.
let's yeah, exactly. Because remember when they were afraid to go to space in the 60s, they ended
Mhm.
up sending they put a chimpanzee in a spacecraft and
Chimpanzee
they
and a dog.
yeah, and a dog. Yeah, they
Yeah,
did a dog
Laika.
too.
The name of the
Yep.
dog is Laika, if I'm not
Mhm.
mistaken. Yeah,
Yep.
so if you're experimenting, what do you call this? Teleportation, people, please do human. What do
Yeah,
you think?
exactly.
Do
Yeah,
human so that
I
you
agree.
really experiment the human DNA.
Right,
Mm,
exactly, because humans and animals aren't the same, and
yeah.
researchers still try to do that, and I'm like, it doesn't work. We don't behave the same as an animal does, and an animal can't opt in or out of something where a human can and say, no, I don't want to do that. Animal can't do that. So yeah, I think it's important to be ethical when it comes to those things for sure. But yeah, I
Be
mean, who knows what's
ethical.
going to happen? Yeah, it's going to be amazing to see what our technology ends up. I mean, they've talked about the chips and stuff like that, and
Hmm.
all kinds of that stuff, and the chips are going to get better as well. So yeah, it'll be interesting. So, and I think in Texas they have, well, actually, all across the United States they have these different semiconductor plants that are being built to be able to have these semiconductor chips that can handle the AI
Hmm.
technology and the data, because
Okay.
the data is just going to, we're going to need more and more data to handle it. So, I think in Texas alone, I think they have like I think I heard on the news the other day, like 40 semiconductor plants that are being
Oh
built right
wow.
now. And it takes a couple years to build them. So we have to be ready for it now. So the technology is, yeah, it's going to keep coming at us. And the robots and all of that. So we have to have the capability. And so, I think instead of technology taking away jobs, I think it's just going to reimagine what we think of when it comes to jobs and things like that. So, yeah, I think we just have to stay on the cutting edge of it and be ready to embrace it. So, change is
Ye-
hard. Change is hard for all of
Yes.
us. Yeah, but we have to,
People doesn't like changes, but changes sometimes make us, uh, well, dependent.
right.
Changes is hard, and changes changes doesn't like most of the people, but we need it because
Right.
we need to change, right?
Exactly.
From doing the fire from the stones and just creating fire by just one click, right? So that's a big change. So Miss Jackie, to wrap up our discussion for today, looking across the full arc of fire to fiber, what is the one enduring lesson or warning you believe the most critical for us to carry in the next chapter of our technological story?
Mm. I'm thinking back to what you said earlier. So we have to look, is technology making us smarter or lazier? I want it to I want it to make me smarter. I don't want it to make me lazier. So
Lazier.
yeah, so
True.
I think when we look at technology and when we use it, let's see if we can help it to make us smarter and not lazier. So yeah,
Mm,
I'm gonna go for
yes.
that.
Definitely smarter people and responsible enough. Because when we depend to someone else, for sure, we are getting lazier and lazier. And we are hoping that our generation is becoming more bolder, not lazier. Okay, so for me, Miss Jackie, every transformative technology begins in one extension of human ability. Fire extended warmth and safety, like agriculture extend food supply. Machines extend muscle. Fiber extend communication, and each case society recognized itself around the new capability of long before fully understood the consequence, norms, ethics, and institution consistently lag behind the adaptations. So we need to adapt, people. We need to adapt. So, Miss Jackie, well, we congratulate this ourselves because this is our first episode on Tech 101 and hoping for more bountiful, prosperous episodes to come. This is only the beginning, people, and tune in for our more episodes will rise. So, Miss Jackie, would you like to plug in something?
Sure. If anybody wants to follow my work, they can go to LinkedIn and connect with me there. And then they can go to anywhere they look up podcasts and just look up Designing with Love, and they can listen to some episodes there for that as well.
Yes, people, please do listen to our podcast with Miss Jackie. We have Bible Verses 101, we have Coaching 101, we have AI 101, and of course, Tech 101. Please support us because if you support us, for sure, more and more empowering episodes will rise. So, Miss Jackie, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Daniel. Appreciate it.
Modicam people, see you soon.